Hey, what is up, guys? It's been a little bit since I made a video, but I just played this game and I thought it really demonstrated a nice concept that I wanted to share. It's going to be how to secure your mid laner's game as a position 4 in games where you really can't play for your own lane. What happened is they 10th picked Monkey King. They saw our matchup, Shaker Legion, and they picked Monkey King. Pretty hard counter. Like, we can't really do anything. And they have a Jakiro too, which is like a solid lane support. We're not really going to get a lot out of this lane. And when you're in lanes like this, position 4, the best, like, there's things you can do to mitigate the lane, which I do in this game. I don't need to cover it too much, but, like, I block the creep wave a bit here. I drag some creeps. But really, we're playing defensively, playing for pulls. I get some pulls off, try and prevent them from getting some pulls off, and look to, like, play for the equilibrium. And otherwise, we're really playing defensively, like going for no kills, just, you know, throwing out defensive fissures occasionally. And just to show you the net result is, like, we're not going to win the lane. And, you know, I'm not saying I played it perfectly, but at 10 minutes, you can see our Legion is like 2,000 gold behind this Monkey King, right? Monkey King's top net worth. And that's just kind of how the lane goes when you're in a hard lane. And what I was focusing, though, starting at minute 4 in this lane was playing to make my Storm have a good game. So that's what I want to cover here. So we'll skip ahead the first couple minutes. Like I said, there's some lane shenanigans. And here at 340, we just gotten a pull off. Our Legion's going to be in a decent spot. Not a great spot, right? Like, we know he's not going to have a good lane. But I use this opportunity when nothing's happening. And my Legion's like, okay, my Legion's not able to do anything right now. But, you know, that's life. Like, I could try and drag another wave, maybe. But I choose to go mid at the 4-minute water rune. And if you could do this, tell your mid in advance, like, hey, I'm coming, go grab the other one. And if they do this, I mean, this Lesh just gets no rune at 4 minutes. This just, you know, if you ever play mid, you know how important this is. You get the water rune, this Lesh does not. He's going to be sad. So, really important to do this, especially in, like I said, these lanes where, like, playing for your own lane is not, like, helpful or a good idea, right? So I don't completely ditch my lane here. I come back. We still play for it. Kind of get some rest on the Jakiro. But let's move forward to the next point where we play for our Storm. All right, so we got another pull off for our lane. This is a great opportunity to go rotate. I actually have a video on when you should rotate as position 4. Conceptually, I compared, like, a Crusader player to myself and, like, pointed out, like, when you should look to rotate in these timings. So if you haven't, go check that out. But it's a lot of times it can be, like, predicated off these pulls. If you get a pull off, that's a good time to go roam because your offlaner doesn't really need you anymore, right? The creeps, their creeps are going to go under our tower. You know, their carry's going to farm this, but that's fine, right? Our safe laner will be safe farming under his tower, which he wouldn't otherwise be getting. And I rotate mid for the 6-minute rune. And just really important to be ready to do this. I get here a little early, so I use the opportunity to ward. Make sure they don't have a ward with this river rune. And Storm actually uses this opportunity to go on this guy. And he luckily gets the kill before he dies. Both of their supports rotated, so we didn't, like, get the rune, but I was here around the rune timing before their supports were. And it sets up, like, this kill like that, right? Our Storm wouldn't have gotten that kill if I hadn't fissured for 110 damage. And just being here in this play sets up some of my own farm in space, which I wouldn't otherwise get. And what this also does, me sitting here, so just full disclosure, this is the part where Legion has a really bad time, and there's, like, not a lot he can do about it. Like, best case scenario for this Legion, honestly, is to, like, jungle, try and pull. Like, if he can get his own pull off for himself, that's the ideal. Otherwise, like, jungle this camp until they pushed into his tower and not feed. That's, like, the ideal, and that's all you can do, right? It's not great, but I get to sit mid, and what this does is it lets my Storm, granted, my Storm doesn't have a TP, so if he had a TP up, he could just TP mid. But even if he didn't have a TP up, he wouldn't have to TP back mid here, because I'm in the lane, I'm taking it, we're not losing out on that golden XP, and it opens up options for him, right? He's a Storm with level 6. He could TP top for a gank, or he could just go jungle or something while his support takes the mid lane for a while. And this, like, lets, Legion's not getting a lot, but in theory, he's getting a little, whether he's jungling or like in the lane, using spells to secure CS safely. I'm getting farm in the lane, and then he could be getting farm in the jungle or doing a gank elsewhere. So this kind of map configuration opens it up and kind of is like super efficient for our team at the moment. Even though it's not ideal for the Legion, like overall, it's like good for our team. So you can see the Storm is jungling, right? And this is what good mid players will do. Like, not like bad mid players, but like your average ranked mid player will just walk straight back mid here and be like, hey, yeah, fuck off. This is my lane again, you know? But like the Storm doesn't need to be here because I'm here. Like I'm getting this farm and it's okay. Like he can jungle this and it's not that inefficient for him. There's no like rune timing. So there's no reason that he needs to come here. So this guy played pretty well this game. And this is something high level mids will do. So I'm getting this like free CS and I'm going to get these super early mana boots, even though I haven't like really been able to farm at all. Like I got like all 10 of these creeps almost for like just right now, or 9 of them. So really hype for me. My Storm's just spending time in the jungle. And so this move to mid at 8 or to at the 6-minute rune opened all this up for me. And yes, my Legion does die here. Okay, he died bottom. That was a weird replay bug. So Legion did die bottom. Not ideal, but like trade-offs, right? Think of the trade-offs. I'm getting a ton. Storm's still farming. And in a lane where we're countered off lane, right? It's not like if I was here, he'd be free farming, right? That would be a different story. So this is really good to do when you have a really hard off lane. And as soon as my Storm does come back, like, right, I'm happy to give the lane back to him and go rotate back to my original lane for the most part is what I'm looking to do. So this next part I want to talk about, I just came back to this lane, get a defensive fissure off, like pretty normal stuff. And then I see my Storm at TP top here. What happened is their Lesh had gone top and then he left. They didn't get anything, and then after this, Lesh left. Our Storm went up there with a rune that he had gotten, I think, and he killed both of them. And so again, I go back to the mid lane here. So this is like me playing to help the Storm Spirit because the Storm, while he's ganking, doesn't want his tower to get like pressured and damaged by this Leshrac. So me doing this helps the Storm. It helps the team, right? But it helps the Storm specifically, and playing towards the mid, obviously is like intended to play for the mid laner. And now that I've got my mana boots, like I'm really gung-ho about mana bootsing this Storm constantly. And if you're like a Storm player, you kind of know how nice that is if you've got a support that's constantly giving you mana boots, right? The hero just lives off mana, so really looking to prioritize that. And I'm always looking back to my original lane. Here, just TP, save this guy luckily, and that's it, right? That's all we're playing to do in this lane. And right, we're at like 930. Our Legion is not having a good lane, but a good lane, but look at our Storm. Our Storm is killing it already. And we've helped him do this, right? We got the 4-minute rune. We helped him get that kill at the 6-minute rune. We took his lane so he could jungle, which kind of helped us and him. It helped us more than him, but like it's good for the team overall. So really just playing to enable the Storm, not playing to like enable my Legion at any point. And I want to show you this as we head into this like early mid game, because I continue to play with my Storm constantly and we just don't play towards this Legion at all. And it's important to recognize that you can do that when your mid's the strong one and your off lane's the weak one, right? Play with your strong heroes. Pay no attention to this play. I think this could have worked because the Storm just did a lot of damage. So if I had gotten all my spells off, I think this Lesh could have died. But we just weren't communicating. Like, I thought if I walked in, the Storm would, like, jump so that he couldn't stun me, and the Storm just didn't jump, which was, like, kind of sad. So, don't do that. And here, Storm just TP top. Got some kills. I didn't have a TP up, so I'm walking mid. I'm watching what's happening top right now, but I'm walking mid to take Storm's lane again. And then I saw my Razor was there, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And so I played for some stacks, which are going to help my Storm as well. My Storm ends up taking a bunch of these stacks. Actually, I messed up the stack here. Don't walk up this high ground, because then these creeps will lose vision of you, and they'll just turn around. So if I, like, walk down here and then the same thing, it would have worked. I don't know if this camp would have stacked, but this camp definitely would have stacked, but I messed that up. That's what I was playing for, and I do get some stacks off later. Mana booting my Storm again, making sure I always mana boots him whenever he's, like, anywhere nearby. Playing for another stack here, playing at the rune. Unfortunately, the Storm did die. What can you do? But I was there to, like, help, so. He did get the rune, which actually he is able to use to good effect later. And so here we'll see Storm respawns with this DD, and they kind of overextended a little too far, and we've got like the best catcher in the game. And so everything we've done so far to enable our Storm to be like top net worth, this guy's already got a Witchblade. He does hella damage at 13 minutes. Is just super helpful. And we're getting these mana boots off on him like mid-fight. This allows him to just keep going. And we get this really awesome set of like 3 kills. And we're just really enabling our Storm here. And as you'll see, I just play near this guy. So I walk towards mid, ping out the stacks for him, take the lane a little bit more. He can jungle. This is like a really good arrangement. He gets the rune. He TP's top. And I decide that I don't want to go help with that because, like, I don't really see the kill, right? He's going for the monkey. I don't think they end up getting it, but, like, I'm not going to help. Bottom, unfortunately, died, so we just get more time to, like, farm our own Blink Dagger here. Nothing really I can do in either lane to help. Playing for some more stacks here. Defending our tower, right? I've done a lot of work in terms of defending this tower. Like, if I'm not constantly coming mid here, this Lesh just takes our tower. Like, it's that simple. So don't discount this like, oh, he's just sitting mid not doing anything, right? If like this Lesh doesn't want to walk into like an Earthshaker because somebody shows up behind him and then he's like in a lot of danger. So keeping this and obviously we have a treant which helps, but just having somebody standing there and not allowing him to freely damage your tower is really impactful. And here, lots of people sitting mid. We don't really want to like run straight into them, right? Especially at night, we don't see them well. They could react. So we set up a smoke for our Storm. Make sure we're like walking backwards. We know they don't have a ward here based on the sentry, and we smoke our Storm here. And this actually wasn't like maybe the greatest smoke because a rune's coming. Because I was like, I wanted him to come with me, and then he's like waiting for the rune, just like I think correct. So we do get the rune here, but looking to play with the Storm, right? Have we played with the Legion at all this game? No, we've just defensively fissured for him like 3 times. But you know, he's not having a good game. But he's having a game, right? He has Phase, Wand, Blade Mail flying out on the Courier, right? 16 minutes. Like, you know, he's not having a good game, but he's having a game. He's got 10 dual damage, you know. I've done worse. And paying attention to what my Storm's doing. My Storm wants to TP top and go on this monkey. I'm like, sweet, we see the kill this time, right? It's happening. So I TP and I'm like, hey, let's get this done. Luckily, we barely get him here with our Echo. He almost didn't die. But really just looking to play with the Storm and following what our Storm's doing, because this is the guy we've enabled, right? Look at this net worth spread, right? Storm's at the top. We're playing to enable the Storm. Getting some more stacks off here for Storm. Storm's like solo killing their Lesh. It's pretty sweet, right? This is not possible. This kill does not happen if this guy is not having like a super crazy good game. Because the Lesh isn't having a bad game, right? This Lesh was 2-1-2 before he just died, right? He's got a pretty solid Bloodstone timing, halfway to Boots of Travel already. Not having the best game ever because he hasn't gotten any of our towers, but not having a terrible game. But our Storms just completely popping off, and you know we've enabled this to happen, and this is how these good plays happen. Have a helpful fissure, and we secure the monkey with our Blink Dagger that just came out. And here, this is like a play that doesn't happen, but it's just paying attention to the Storm again, right? All our plays run through the Storm Spirit right now. So we see the secure on a ward, and we're like, oh, maybe we can get him. And then I look at my Storm here, and I see that he's got, you know, a quarter mana, and I'm like, guys, Storm doesn't want to do this. Like, let's not do it, right? Pay attention to, like, what your strong core wants to do, right? This guy's not telling us, hey, I don't want to do this, but, like, I just look at his mana, and I know, oh, this guy doesn't want to do this, right? Don't make plays that he's not going to participate in, because they're not going to go well. Any play we were to make without Storm this game is, like, not really going to go that well, except for a play specifically like this, where like we just saw 2 heroes show mid and got like a Legion, so that's kind of lucky. But for the most part, our plays like aren't gonna work through Storm. Like the 3 of us, that was very opportune, and like that play basically doesn't work like in any other scenario other than like we have the vision plus we knew that they weren't there. And again here we're playing to enable our Storm, so that's the point of this video, which is why I'm continually harping on it. But even in the mid game, right, we really are not playing with our Legion that much. We're just playing with the Storm, smoking him, not smoking our Legion, even though like on average you'd smoke a Legion, right? If your Legion's having a bad game, right, like smoke your strong hero. And we find the monkey here, and then completely overuse our Echo Slam, but it's all good, right? These kills are super important. He's the highest net worth on their team, totally worth. And then I see Storm TP top. I'm like, here I come. I'm TPing top too. right? Let's just enable this constant play, get the extra stun on the Marcy. Maybe he would have died anyways, but you know, you can see what's going on here. And the final note that I want to end with here is just pointing out, like, the net worths now. Or we can even go, we don't even need to go further, honestly. So the net worths at 20 minutes, remember that at 10, our Legion was 2,000 gold, 2,100 gold behind this monkey. And now at 20 minutes, 10 minutes after that, he's basically almost caught up. He's like 300 gold behind at this point. And we didn't do that by playing with the Legion. We did that by playing with the Storm, crushing their whole team, basically, but basically made space for our Legion. It allowed the Legion to just play within his own limits of, like, yeah, he showed up to stuff. He's got some duel damage. But, like, you can tell the game did not play through the Legion. The game played through the Storm, and the Legion was just able to pick up a duel here and there. Now he's got his Blink. Now he's got his Blade Mail. He's having a solid game, and at this point, we could make plays to the Legion, right? Because he's, like, strong enough. I mean, you still want to play with your strongest here, which is going to be the Storm. But I just wanted to show you how we had that impact this game and really played to support our mid, taking his lane, showing him to secure runes, getting some stacks for him, giving him these arcane boots, smoking him up, making plays around him, taking note of what he wants to do at all times. And this is a really good thing to do, especially when your lane is, like, weak. You can't have a lot of impact in your own lane. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. And if you want to be coached by me, check the link in the video description. You can join my Discord there, and there's all the information there on how to sign up.